Hey, how you doing? It's your host, Benedict Guerriers. Welcome to Real Estate and Entrepreneurship Mondays. Today, I got the man of the hour, too sweet to be sour, Mr. DJ Envy, talking about real estate development.
That's right, we here, man. We really teaching wealth, how to get wealth through real estate, so your kids will be straight.
Absolutely. So every Monday, tune in, 7:30 live at 972 Broad Street, La Rouge Restaurant and Lounge. Peace.
Benedict Guerriers is the owner of this lounge. It is La Rouge Lounge. He's been doing real estate since the age of 23. He has done over 91 properties to date and has helped many, many people. A lot of people team up with them because they don't want to do it alone, so he's there to teach you the way. And we have speakers that come out every Monday. Because of that, we decided to make sure that we get the celebrities who also make an impact in the community to do their part and give you their input of what they're doing in the community as well as in real estate. We brought out DJ Envy. We all know who he is.
Yeah.
Give it up for DJ Envy. He also graduated from Hampton University, where I also graduated from. So all the HUs out there, thank you for all your support. So I would like to welcome Benedict Guerriers and DJ Envy.
Real Estate Meetup, what's up? I don't know what's up with this mic. We're going to turn this energy up, though. We got DJ Envy in the building. It's a free event. Not only that, we in what they call one of the most violent cities in America. I don't believe that.
No, sir.
Look at my real estate meetup. Happy birthday to the guy. Big round of applause for Mr. So before I get into the interview, I really want to let everybody know the real reason why this meetup is so successful. It's because you want it to be successful. Every single Monday, we come in here as droves. Why? Because we want change. We know in a couple of years, Social Security may not be available to us. We know in a couple of years that your 401k, it may diminish. But we also know that there's abandoned properties and opportunities all around us. I always use the acronym POUR, passing over opportunities repeatedly. Everybody in this room, take a look at them. No, really. Really, take a look at everybody that's in this room. Everybody in here today, I know we're here to see Mr. DJ Envy, but we also in here to get that W. In a year and a half, we've raised over $2 million. We raised over $2 million in this very room. We got a platinum recording artist, a legend. Shout out to Do It All Kelly. We got an NBA superstar, Mr. Terry DeHare, who dropped. And the reason that I'm pointing these people out is because they have reached a certain level of excellence to be able to give us inspiration and say that, hey, you know what? We have millionaires all around us, so that means it's right next to you. So when I put these events together and I made sure that the lights is on and I don't charge, is because my true vision is to inspire my people. 3 weeks ago, I had a hard money lender sitting right here. He said, I had $100 million to give away. And the group was flabbergasted. They just looked at it. Because you don't believe that you're worth that type of money. This is the type of money I'm bringing to our city. So with that being said, Mr. DJ Envy, let the people know what you do, who you are.
Well, I'm DJ Envy. I'm on the Breakfast Club. I've been DJing since I was like 16 years old. I'm originally from Queens, and I moved out to Jersey to get a little grass.
Go ahead.
How long you been in the real estate business?
I first started real estate when I bought my first home. I got my first check which was a $75,000 check. Riding my motorcycle, lady hit me on the motorcycle, and was banged up a little bit. So I did what all of us do. We called Jacoby and Myers and said, Jacoby and Myers told me that for me to sue, I would have to go to rehab like 3 times a week, 4 times a week. And at the time, I was young. I was like, I'm not doing that. So I called the insurance company and said, look, I'm not going to sue.
Right.
And they said, really? I said, no, I'm not going to sue. I said, just pay for my motorcycle, pay for my ambulance, my hospital bill, and we good. They said, come right now. I said, all right. So I drove out to Long Island to I don't remember what agency it was. And they said, sign this paper, you're not going to sue them, and we'll give you a check. So I said, all right, I signed the paper. Now, my bills, my motorcycle was probably $6 grand, the hospital bills was $4 grand. They gave me a $75,000 check right then and there. Now, that told me 2 things. One, I probably could have sued and got a lot more money. But 2, I was like, that's $75,000, I'm going to make it work. So, you know, in New York at the time, you know, you couldn't buy nothing for that money. So I looked all over the place and found a place called West Milford, right? Where they shot the Freddie Jason movies. It was nothing out there. So I bought a crib in West Milford. I paid, I think, like $350 for the crib. Driving back and forth to the city, I would fall asleep every night going home, like long ass drive. Dark, pitch black, there was nothing out there before. If y'all familiar with Route 23, Target wasn't there, Walmart wasn't there, none of that was there at the time.
But it was yours.
But it was my crib. So after about 4 months, I said, I gotta move. This is too much. So I found a crib in Cedar Grove. So I said, I'll put my house on the market, had a real estate agent come. I was in there like 6 months, and the crib that I paid $300 was worth $450. He said, you gotta put it on the market for $450. I said, I put it on the market for $450. I didn't know nothing about cribs at the time. My parents was the type, the first one in college. I'm the first one in college. They're the type to buy that house, live in their house for 30 years, 40 years. They still live in the house that I was born in, pretty much. So when I moved into the house, it said air conditioning ready. So I remember moving in 4th of July, and it was one of the hottest days ever. So I'm turning on the air conditioner. I'm like, why is this shit not working? I bought this house. So my dad says, well, it says air conditioning ready. There ain't no air conditioning in it. So I knew nothing about homes at the time. So when I bought the next crib, the house was on the market for 2 days. It sold for $450. So I made $150,000 like that. Didn't know anything about it. So I was like, this is easier than music. So I just started buying cribs, putting paint on the walls, putting furniture in, selling. And at the time I was making $100,000, $150, $180. Just doing this. I'm moving crib to crib. My wife is pissed off because we're moving from crib to crib, but we're growing in cribs. The first crib is $300, next one is $400, the next one is $800, the next one is $1 million. I'm just putting, you know, equity into the home.
All in Jersey.
All in Jersey. And then it got to the point where I just started doing it, like 2, 3 cribs, just flipping and painting. And it wasn't much work. It was just paint, furniture, paint, furniture. And I did that for a while. And then the whole market fell. I was stuck with like 2, 3 cribs at the time.
2006.
Right. And there was nothing I could do. People couldn't get loans. And there was nothing I could do. Like at the time I had cars, I had jewelry, so I was like, I had to get rid of everything because I knew I could get my money back out these houses. So I sold all my cars, all my jewelries, and just pretty much sold the houses slow by slow. And then I got out of real estate. I was like, fuck that, I lost too much money. Like it was too stressful.
Correct.
Then I just started looking at that.
But you were smart enough to buy the asset to be able to dump and liquidate. A lot of us just buy jewelry, we just buy cars, et cetera, et cetera. But you was able to know that this asset, even if it depreciated, you was able to get some money out of it because you bought it at the right price and you made sure there was a certain amount of equity that's in it.
Right. So then I said, all right, let me get back into it. So I said, let me find the worst areas that's beat up that I feel like is coming back. You know, everybody was talking about Newark at the time. And
but it's not the whole Newark that's beat up. You got $1 million homes in Newark. They don't talk about it.
we got beat up areas everywhere. So
Right.
I looked in Newark for a little bit, and then I was a little nervous in Newark, right? Then I went to Detroit. Anybody been to Detroit? Yeah. Detroit was fucked up.
Right. Detroit is Beirut.
Detroit was bad. But in Detroit, you could buy homes at the time for $5,000, $7,000, $20,000. So I was like, all right, let me buy some cribs in Detroit. And the one thing that bothers me about our community is when you tell people about investing, they say, yo, it takes money to make money. Nah, you have money. No, the house was $5,000. And if somebody in here can't say, I can't save for $5,000, or I can't get this for my auntie, get this for grandma, get this for my neighbor, get a little bit to make it happen. You know, you look at people that say they ain't got it and they got to pay a $200 pair of Jordans.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? or their girl got an $800 Louis Vuitton bag, a Gucci bag. So it can be done if you really want to sacrifice, and that bothers me. So I bought a couple of cribs in Detroit, and I just sat on them. I wasn't sure what was going to happen. I kept hearing that they're going to build Detroit up, and they're doing it, and I just sat on the cribs for like 3 years, paying the taxes. 3 years, just sat on it. I just forgot about it, just sat on it. And in 3 years, they started building up Detroit. Those cribs that I paid $5,000 for is worth $370 now. You know, I got
Hold on. Let them absorb that. If you was to do mathematics, how much did he make on just 2 of those cribs?
600,000.
Now, 600,000. Most loans you need 10% down to be able to get the whole loan. So 600,000 is 10% of $6 million.
So we have a couple of those cribs, so we started fixing the cribs up. And I'll tell you about the Patterson homes at home. So at first I was fixing the cribs up kind of like a quick flip, kind of putting cheap shit in it, flip it, paint it, go. Then, you know, when I flew down there, I started looking at the neighborhood. And when I first went down there to look at the cribs, it was boarded up, it was all beat up and you know, bad. I went down there 3 years later, and then you started seeing the area change. You see little white ladies running their dogs. You know, like they were comfortable to be there.
Right.
3 years ago, they wasn't comfortable.
They wasn't driving.
Now they walking, it's dark, and they walking their dogs, and they having a good time. So I said, whoa, this area is changing.
Right.
So then I went back and redid the crib. I put hardwood floors in there. I started doing upscale stuff that made my house go up. So now it's like, do I think now my whole thing is, okay, do I give the crib up or do I rent it out? You know what I mean? I'm tired of us losing our communities.
Absolutely.
You look at Harlem, you look at Newark, you look at Brooklyn, where those were our areas. They came, bought our areas, and pushed us out. Now them homes, there's some of them cribs like, you know, that people bought in the 70s and 80s for $30,000, that they sold for $100, worth $2 million.
Exactly.
So now I'm like, no, I'm gonna keep these cribs and rent them. If they want them, they can rent them. I'll give you the high, and that's what I've been doing in Detroit. Wow. Patterson is a little different. I started getting cribs in Patterson, and what I would do is,
Because after Hurricane Sandy, it was so much floods that the value of Patterson went down. So not to cut you off, but that was deep what he said. We kind of made a light of it that, you know, the white lady walking her dog in the communities when we start to see value in it. When the same dirt that God makes in Detroit is the same dirt that's made in Beverly Hills. So start seeing the value of where you live at.
That's
You
right.
understand? So look at Bitcoins. Bitcoins didn't start having value until all of us said, hey, well, it's worth something. It's all about the belief system behind your product that gives it value. So when you look at Newark and you look at East Orange and all parts of urban and brown communities, the value is there. We just don't see the value. We want to make the money and go move into communities that they don't want us in. Now, when they don't want us in there and we feel some type of way, what are they doing? They're moving down to these areas that's closer to airports, that's closer to highways, that's closer to transit units. The city of Newark is 15 minutes outside of the financial heartbeat of the world, which is Manhattan. So while we're looking to run away from Newark, everybody's looking to invest in Newark. And when I say Newark, I mean Essex County, period. You know, you have a lot of parts of Essex County that the value is there. But you were speaking about
Patterson.
Patterson.
And I'm gonna tell you another reason why I was deterred from Newark a little bit, right? So, you own properties in Newark. If you want to get somebody out your property, squatter, somebody that doesn't pay the rent,
Got to pay.
how long does it take?
I mean, it depends what tactic that you use. Some tactics I can't say. You know what I mean? But I am going to say that New Jersey's a tender-friendly state.
All right.
You can't just push them out.
Legally, 6 to 9 months in Newark.
Absolutely.
Patterson's 30 days. 30 days.
Hold on, Evie. But you know that we don't know up here.
It's just different rules. You know, in Newark, they have classes to teach squatters how to stay longer. Patterson's 30 days. And see now, as a businessman, if I got to get my friends, if I got to get somebody on my crib, you're not paying rent, I ain't got time to be playing with you because the mortgage still has to get paid. So that was another reason why I looked at Patterson. So I'll explain how Patterson came about. So, you know, everybody talks to me that they're real estate people. Everybody. I'm a real estate guy, and most of them is full of shit. So, this one dude hit me, and I went to see him, and the dude looked like me, came from my neighborhood. Looked like he came from the areas I came. Did my homework on him, and somebody was like, yeah, he does, he's a real estate investor. So he was like, yo, I own 600 units in in Patterson, in Jersey, 600 units. So I said, that sounds like a lot. Like, and the only reason I said that is fucked up to say it is because he looked like me. I was like, if somebody owns that many units, he got a business suit on.
Right, he's Jewish.
He got,
Go ahead and say it.
he got, I ain't gonna say that, but he's hard bottom shoes, briefcase, no way.
Right.
My man got a chain, chilling.
Right.
I said, how? So, you know, he invited me over. And this is influence, because when I went to his office, his brother was there, a bunch of envelopes, maybe 70, 80 envelopes, opened them up full of money. His cousin is upstairs handling the construction crew. His aunt is answering the phones. So I was like, man, we got his whole family working. I said, all right. So he was like, yo, come on, go see these units, because he's showing me Patterson.
Correct.
So me being from Queens, I'm like, I ain't getting in your car, I'm gonna follow you in my car. He's like, nah, I want you to come to my car. So he takes me around the whole Patterson. He stops at certain houses, we open the house, and he's showing me his cribs and how he's doing his cribs. He really did own over 600 units, and then he started explaining and busting down how he was doing it. And it was just intriguing. It was something that gave me more motivation. Because every once in a while, I don't care who you are, you need motivation to push you to that next level. So then I started.
That's why you here.
So I started doing it. So, you know, I would go to all the sites, auction.com, look for short sales, do everything I possibly can, talk to real estate agents, and it started working. So, you know, I started buying homes. So I was spending the house that I bought. I bought a 7-family home. 7-family home in Newark, 4 3-bedrooms and 3 studios in Patterson. When I went to buy the house, it was $200,000. Right? Needed a lot of work. Needed a lot of work. It might have needed about, I would say, $80,000 worth of work. Now, if you do the math, 7-family, Patterson, the 4 3-bedrooms get $1,500 each. How much is that? That's $6 grand. Correct. The 3 studios get $1,000 each. That's $9 grand. So that's $9 grand. If I pay a mortgage on that house, let's say my mortgage is $3,500, I still make $6,000 a month. $5,500 actually, but
and then your portfolio looks tight. A lot of people don't understand how you get money out of properties. They think that you only have to sell the properties or refinance the properties, but when you create a balance sheet, a portfolio, that's how you, and where my bankers at? I know I got a couple bankers in the house. That's how you get the true value of your property, right. So you get your huge line of credits to be able to buy more property.
Right, and it has 6 parking spots, so I rented the 6 parking spots to the neighbors, and then I had a garage, I used to store it. I rent everything, I'm making everything. So anyway, so the people say, well, how did you do it? Did you have the $200,000? Did you finance the $200,000? How's your credit? So if you know anything about real estate, it's all about what it's worth, right? So that house, fixed up nicely, is worth $500,000 in that area. Hard money lender. Hard money lender is going to, the house is $200, it's going to cost me $60, $70 to fix it. I'm going to ask the hard money lender for $300,000.
Absolutely.
Right? It cost me $70 to fix. I got $30 in my pocket. $270 to fix the home. I got 3-4 months to fix it because, you know, the interest rates is high on the hard money lender. I got the construction crew already in place. One thing that the dude told me is he was like, the dude that owns all the cribs, he was like, all of his cribs are the same. He said when he talks to the people that's fixing it, he ain't got to talk to them. They know the paint they're going to use, they know the floor, they know the cabinets, they know the toilets, they know everything. That's his system.
Right. And he's
don't ask me no questions. This is what you got to do.
And I'm sure, I know he's giving them at a discounted price.
And he's buying bulk.
Correct.
Everything's in bulk. All the garages, they got toilets in the garages, same way. Cabinetry, everything. I was like, that's smart. You ain't got to, nobody got to think anymore. You just got to do it. Absolutely. So that's what he did. So now back to the hard money lender. Hard money lender, let's say, gives me $300. Crib is $270 to fix. 30 in my pocket. Fix the crib, go to a bank, finance the crib, refinance it. Correct. Right? Crib's worth $500, bank gives you how much? 80%. I got $400. Now I got $100 in my pocket. Right. Plus the 30 in my pocket. So now I have $130 cash in my pocket. I finance mortgage out to $400,000. What's my mortgage? $5,000? Cool. Tenants take care of the majority of that. I'm making $4,000 just off the tenants a month.
You still got your $100,000.
I still got the $130 in my pocket. I still got the equity in the crib, and I still got them 6 parking spots. So
wait, hold on. Hold on. If he was dropping a lot of jewels, he so hold on though. That $30,000 is important because it's what you call burn rate. Most small businesses fail because you don't have money to wait for it to catch on fire. Restaurants fail all the time because you might have the money to buy the building, buy the liquor license, but if you don't have the money to spend, so his $30,000 was taking care of his mortgage in case his permits didn't come in because rain, sleet, hail, or snow, they want their money. And on $100,000, what he's about to tell you, I hope he is he don't have to pay taxes on that money right away because it's refinanced money. You don't pay taxes on borrowed money. That's why your president, he said the person who dies with the biggest debt wins the game. That's real talk. That's wealth talk.
But now you notice I ain't spent $1 out of my pocket. And see, that's what we do. A lot of times we think, oh, we need to have this. But then you look at some of the people that are investing in our neighborhoods, they don't have the money. They just getting it for a steal.
Absolutely.
And you see, the thing is a lot of us have these houses and just don't know. It's another quick story. My mom, you know, my mom and her family's from Brooklyn. They're originally from Brooklyn. And they had a 3-story brownstone in Brooklyn that when my grandfather passed away, the family kind of just let it happen because nobody knew who owned it. Because of course, when we die, a lot of times in our family, we don't have wills, so it just gets passed on, passed on, passed on. So now, you know, this guy wrote my mom and her brothers and sisters a letter. It was like, you know, hey, I want to buy this crib from you. I'll give you all $20,000 each. Right? Okay, my mom said, okay, it's 10 of them. Right? So how much is that? $200,000. Crib's worth $1 million in Brooklyn. But my mom and her brothers and sisters was going to take that money because it's like, for them, it's like, oh, here's $20,000. I'm like, fuck no. You're not giving that. No disrespect. You're not giving that white man $200,000. I'll give the family $200,000 and take that crib, fix it up, and flip it. But we all have these cribs, but everybody wants to fast $20,000. I fix that crib and say it cost me $100,000 to fix. Say it cost me $200,000. Say it cost me $300,000 to fix. I'm still walking out $500,000 on top. Or I could rent it out and keep that money for my kids. And the whole goal of the real estate for me is I always want to make sure my kids have something. They always have something. And the reason I tell you the story with the guy, what made it so real for me is that he had his whole family working for him. You know, he was telling me his brother only works from the 1st to the 15th. Because his brother got to go get the money from the 1st to the 15th to all the tenants. 15th to the 30th of the month, his brother chills. You know, the construction crew, his cousin that handles the construction, he just watches the construction from 9 a.m. to noon. The rest of the day, they chill. They have a system where everybody in the family eats. And I was like, that's what we need to be doing more of. You know, their kids will be grown in, be raised right into that and learn that. And that's what we don't do enough of, you know?
And this is why I consistently, what's up, Kashi? Big supporter right here, corrections officer. And I point that out is because they don't like it. I just want everybody to know what type of people that we have in this room. So what this room does is it makes you an expert from 0 to 10 seconds quick. Why? Because you have professionals in each part of the industry. Some people's credit may be bad. We have the credit repair people. We have attorneys in here. We have title companies in here. We have people who've been through bumps and bruises to be able to save you from that. Now with real estate, like how he said in 2006, the market crashed. As well as the market is doing right now, don't let history repeat itself. And if it does, where will you be? So that's the difference with this group is I have a product called Earn While You Learn. People are like, I want you to mentor me. I want you to mentor me. I don't have time to mentor you because I'm trying to get the bread out here. So I said, you know what? If 10 of us, 20 of us, 30 of us, 50 of us get together, which we've been doing for the last year, put up 5,000 like you said, 7,000 like you said. What does that mean? That means, how many people in this room? I would say about a good 100 people. If everybody puts up $5,000, how much money is that? How much? That's $500,000 that we have in this room today that you leverage with a hard money lender and you could do a $50 million project. Now a $50 million project, that means everybody in here eats, regardless if you're making 5%, 7%, and you're getting the ownership of it. That's the difference between our real estate meetup and other real estate meetups, because we're not about just making you feel good the next day where the emails have been, because we're buying properties. I got hard money lenders right now that say, listen, Ben, $5 million, whatever you want to spend. I don't even have time to go look for the properties, and I got a bunch of realtors that's not sending me leads. The guy said he had $100 million to give, and no one emailed me. So as far as being successful, you could never, if you've been in this room, you could never say it's because of a lack of exposure. This man runs the #1 radio station in our country. He's 2 feet away from you. So just off his vibration, that success, it bleeds on you. An event like this, most people gonna charge $100 to get in. I believe in my people.
Yeah.
That's it, man. It's something called, like you said, it's nothing like going live. You can read all the books you want, go to all the meetups. Until you put your hands in it, you're not gonna know what it's about. I remember when I was opening up this restaurant, and people was like, you don't know nothing about the restaurant business, but I said, nah, I don't need to know nothing about the restaurant business. I know about the people business. I make more money on Mondays in one day than I make for the whole year in the restaurant business. This is a place of gathering. I'm the last restaurant of my graduating class of 2013 that's still alive in North. Last week, I just bought a liquor license for $48,000. That liquor license takes venue. Liquor license for $48,000. You know what? With somebody from the meetup. So that means $150,000 is worth.
50, that thing is 250, man. It's 250.
250,000 got the liquor license. So when we talk about flipping and making money, it's more than houses, it's opportunities. As we buying up all of these houses and we want New Yorkers to move in, what are the ancillary products we're gonna offer them? Where are the flower shops?
That's right.
Where are the health centers? Where are the massage parlors? Where are the things in these desolate areas that we bring in? So you gotta look at commercial property as an opportunity to make money as well. What is your take on commercial property?
See, I'm not a commercial property type of person. Reason being is I know people always need a place to stay. I mean, that's regardless. And especially New York being so crowded and New York being so expensive, I think the best thing that you said is people want an easy commute. They want to be able to get to the city, and they want the space. So for me, I know people will always need a place to stay, no matter what it is. No matter how hard it gets, people need a place to stay. And, you know, the market crashing, or the house market crashing is not a bad thing. I mean, I've seen people buy up so much shit when the house, and I was sitting there scared.
Right.
But my neighbors, who were white, was buying up everything. It was like, oh, this is great, this is perfect timing. Okay. I'm gonna buy it. You know, that's what it was. And I get it now, and I understand now. So for me, it's that's what I look for. I look for people, I look for places to stay, and I try to build up my community. Them fucked up houses with the you know, the windows broken and all those. I buy those, put those together. I mean, it's sad because, you know, sometimes you got to kick heroin addicts out, but, you know, it's the nature of the game, and the whole thing is just building your real estate. And there's so many different ways. You know, some people do wholesaling, some people, you know, buy LLCs. There's so many different ways, you know, but it can be done, and I see people doing it every day. It's not going to be easy, and I say the perfect example is this. There's 1,000,001 DJs, you know what I mean? 1,000,001 DJs that I went to school with, 1,000,001 DJs I did parties with, 1,000,001 DJs I did mixtapes with, 1,000,001 DJs all over the world. But not too many people made it to how far I have. And not because I'm the best DJ out there, not because I'm the nicest DJ, it's because I'm the hardest worker. I will outwork a nigga in a minute. When I get off that radio, the first thing I do is I'm in Patterson stepping over heroin addicts looking at houses. Then when I leave there, I'm picking up my kids at 3 o'clock at school and playing daddy daycare until 7.
That's right.
At 7 I go knock off.
You come in the meetups.
I knock off my wife, we have our quality time, and then 10, 11 o'clock I'm in the club. Like, I don't stop. People say, why? Because I never want that feeling of being broke ever again. So I never want my kids to have that feeling. I tell my son, I want you to do what you want to do as a kid. You know what I mean? I see my dad do jobs he didn't want to do. I see my mom do a job she didn't want to do, and they had to do it. So I tell my son, yo, you want to be a garbage man? That's cool. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it a business. We're going to buy garbage trucks.
That's right. That's right.
My daughter, whatever you want to do, hey, you want to be a dentist? That's cool. We're going to buy you an office. Just so they get that mentality and that mind frame already, and I instill at them from an early age, just so they know. You know?
Absolutely. Well, in closing, what message would you give the group? Because this is, not every Monday I might have a DJ Envy. They cost. But I want you to know that this is family right here. So what message would you give our real estate family and entrepreneurship family?
I think the first would be, you know, if you can't afford, talk to your neighbor. You know what I mean? We have to get our money together and start doing things. And like, you know, I thought about it. You know, if you look at you put your money in the bank. How much interest does your money get in the bank? 0.02. Hard money lender for lending money, how much money they get back? 10 to 12%. So now you talk about we put money together and we have 500,000.
That's right.
Now we are hard money lender. We can be a hard money lender. You know what I mean? We can say, okay, you want to buy this house? We're gonna give you the money to buy this house. If you fuck up, we're taking the house. We're taking equity. But you got 6 months to pay us back in 12%. That's way more money than the bank could ever make. And we continue to do that, Or, you know, we can do the other way and say, you know what, as a unit, we're going to buy this crib, and then buy this crib, and then buy this crib, and stack up and have a portfolio full of cribs. But we got to start putting our money together and leveraging money, and leveraging ourselves.
Listen, you made this interview so easy for me. Usually I'm the one that's saying these messages, but this brother right here, you know, he is tried and he is proven, and you know that it works. So if you are interested in partnering up with Alpha Development and we're going out and we're buying properties, and there's something that I do called walkthroughs. I used to have more time to do it, but now I'm so busy. But groups of 20 people, I'll take you guys to different properties so you can see what the process is like. So because a lot of people are ready to jump into the real estate business, but don't necessarily know the heartaches of it. I remember renovating a property from soup to nuts, and I had a septic tank problem. The line broke underneath the house. I'm 24. I don't know anything about that. I had no one to turn to. There was no Meetup, no one in my community. I'm 36. At the time, I was 24, so it was like I was caught between a weird dichotomy. The older dudes was like, I'm not fucking with him. And the younger kids, they're like, I'm trying to be in the club. So I'm like, damn, how do I get this money out the house? And so God blessed me. I was able to call Roto-Rooter before I met a regular contractor that knew how to do it. They charged me an arm and a leg, but that same property, it allowed me to buy the entire block. And anybody who has a relationship with me personally, knowing that I bought an entire street between the age of 24 and 30. When I talk about bought the street, I bought every single house, and I singly raised. I raised the municipal bond rating of my community. I raised the value of the houses, because when you buy these houses within a mile and a half of each other, as you know, you can use those comps. So that means if he buys a house for $50,000, he puts 100 into it, and he sells it for 300. The next house within a half a mile has no choice but to be worth that. So that's legal monopoly that we need to be doing within our communities. You know, so these are just certain jewels. I'm gonna just offer 3-4 questions before you close
I
out.
just want to say 2 more things. One, keep yourself surrounded with people that's going to inspire you to be better. Right. That's the main thing. Also, ask questions. I'm the asking questions, motherfucker. Like, it's funny, my son does it to me and annoys the shit out of me, but I see he gets it from. You know what I mean? And the reason I say that is I keep people around me that's going to be positive energy. You know what I mean? That I think on an intellectual level is might be smarter than me in certain aspects. Like my manager, where's he at? My manager right there, he's an engineer. Went to Temple, graduated as an engineer. Well, why he's managing me and not doing engineering anymore? I don't know. But when I'm going to look at a house, I call him because I know he's been there. He's been there in buildings. He knows why the crane goes up, how the crane goes up. When it's too windy, he knows that. He explains it to me when we're doing houses. That's one thing that I make sure that I always do. And like I said, keeping that positive energy around you, that encourages you to be better, encourages you, pushes you to the next level. And that's the main thing with the people around me.
You know, with that, I want to wish you a happy
But
birthday.
y'all got questions, y'all got.
Yeah, definitely. Get the questions